We are recording.
Okay.
Let me admit everybody. Okay, the public is joining.
As required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice this meeting was provided on January 14, 2021. The publication of notice in the express times and posting of said notice in municipal building on the same date. Mayor Barsney?
Here.
Mr. Baylor? Mr. Beam? Oh, I see Brian's waving. Mr. Beam?
Here.
Mr. Marqueta?
Here,
Ms. McDermott?
Here.
Mr. Lavery?
Here.
And Mr. Finelli? I see Mike is here. He's just muted too.
there he goes.
Here.
Lisa, we're still hoping for next month. Maybe the committee will be in person at the municipal building. We're going to have that OWL system set up, I guess.
So the equipment is almost fully installed, and then there'll just be the legal question to Mike Lavery as to whether or not they've lifted that. There was some bizarre restriction that if the committee was meeting in a quorum, that you had to have the doors open to the public.
Correct.
That created a problem, so I don't know if that has changed.
I will check. I don't think it has, but
Okay.
it's really
Okay,
kind of
good.
odd if it's you're zooming it and the public sees the whole thing. So whether you're all there or not, but
I know.
anyway,
If
I'll check and see if that's still in effect.
it's
Okay.
legal, hopefully we're doing it that way next month. Otherwise, I guess we'll be back on a Zoom like this. So,
Yes.
okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting of March 18th, 2021. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions, redactions, corrections, anything on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to accept the treasurer's report and April bill list. Anybody want to make a motion to, does anybody have any reason we need to split them? Anybody have any questions on the April bill list? Okay, so we can do them together. I'm looking for a motion to accept the treasurer's report and the April bill list.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Anybody have any questions, comments on it? Either one? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Anybody have any reason to split the tax collector and the tax collector's tax or sewer report?
No.
I'm looking for a motion to accept the tax collector's tax and sewer reports for March. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Any discussion needed?
No.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I'm looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda. Item 4A, the police department report for March of 2021. 4B, the Department of Public Works for March of 2021. 4C, the township clerk's report of March 2021. 4D, the ACO report, which I guess there is none this month. So anybody want to make the motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, or discussion on any of these items?
No.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Paul Beamer, Joe Mexi, did you have anything you wanted to say regarding DPW?
Yeah, Joe, you want to start? Joe, is Joe there?
He's muted.
let me unmute him, sorry. Good, Joe.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'd like to bring up a recommendation to create and make Jeff Howell a working foreman position in the DPW, since we've added a fourth full-time guy in December, and the manpower that we have with 4 full-time guys, 1 seasonal part-time worker, And during snow plowing season and stuff, we have 9 employees here at one time for span and control. And he's more or less my right-hand man and gets jobs when I create or get to work together and stuff. He can handle a crew. He's been doing it for the last couple of years, gets the jobs done without my supervision and stuff like that to satisfactory condition. And plus, he is the man that everything falls on when I leave for vacation or in my absence.
And with that being said, Jeff wears many hats for the township. We're actually very lucky to have him. His carpentry skills and maintenance skills and things of that nature. He's well-rounded. He's done a lot of the work and repair work that might have had to have been done outside had he have not had these skills. So with that, I am on board with creating the foreman's position. And there's a couple of other reasons too, which Bob will get into. But it's a solid move for the township.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important that we have a structure in that department, just like we have in the police department. There should be a chain of command. There should be something in place that something should happen to Joe if he can't make it in, or we used last month the example, he'd fallen during the snowstorm. Had he gotten hurt and been out for 5 or 6, 7 weeks, someone would need to be in charge of the department. And that should really be right in place rather than scrambling at the last minute. And personally, I don't think we have a better person than Jeff as that number 2 guy. You know, very often, I don't know if we all realize, but when we say DPW can do that, when we're talking about fixing a door, making a room, extending a room, whatever, that's really Jeff doing all that. So we're kind of lucky to have his talents. He's multifaceted. He offers a lot to the township, and I'm very happy and very proud to recommend him also for the position. At last month's meeting, we approved everything. Anybody else have anything they would like to say before I go on anything?
No, only that I dealt with him during the work needed on the park when we were building the park, and thought he did a very good job there.
So anyway, we created the position. We set the salary last month. I would just like to make a motion tonight that we promote him to foreman, and his pay would be retroactive. We already did all that, but Jeff, if you're there, I know you're there. I can't see you right now. But everything's retroactive back to January. And anyway, I'm making a motion that we promote him to foreman at the rate of pay we set last month.
I'll second it.
Anybody have any other comments, questions, discussion?
I'd just like to say thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Roll call,
Mayor-
Lisa.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
All right, one thing for Brian. Brian, your video is vertical.
Hey, Jeff, I'll give you a virtual
There you go.
congratulations. And
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do, Jeff.
Good job, Jeff.
See all of you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's Jeff.
Joe Mex, you have anything else?
Nope, unless you want me to read my report. May I get a chance next month?
Okay. Is Rich Hummer on? Does he have anything he needs to say? We just went through his report. Does he want to talk about anything specific? Is he on, Frank?
Yep,
Rich
he's
Hummer?
on.
Okay.
I am, Mayor. No, nothing really to add. The numbers speak for themselves. We've been extremely busy, and we did hire the Class 2 officer effective April 1st, and he has a lot of training to do. However, he has in the 3 days that he's been on the road and not inside just doing training, he wrote some tickets, wrote some truck tickets, and had an arrest. So
Great.
very happy. Thank you.
Oh, good. Looking forward to meeting him in person, and tell him, I guess we wish him well. It's such a weird year. We hire people, we don't even see them.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have him all uniformed and ready for next month's meeting. So,
Okay, good. Yeah.
And with
It's
that
good.
being said, Bob, I did have the opportunity to meet him, and I'm going to ask the chief, and Bob, I probably should have spoke to you first, but chief, with him focusing on the truck traffic and we have constant conversations about the weight limits and stuff like that, would it be to our advantage to meet with the prosecutor and the judge so that we could get some clarity on some of the vehicles and such? Do you think that would be a good idea?
you mean a clarity on what to issue for?
Well, what to issue for, what we can do, and one of my bigger concerns is, and I know that sometimes this is a touchy subject, but we have lots of trucks that are in the commercial grain business that is related to farming, but it's not farming, and they're just plain old not following these weight limits. And it doesn't impede, I mean, the farm trucks that are spreading manure and all that other kind of stuff and harvesting and things, they're more than welcome to use the roads. But we've got two farms that use our weight restricted roads for commercial grain delivery, be it going to Lancaster or Port Newark. And they both have access to what's officially truck routes. I sooner or later that conversation's going to come up, and I'd like to know what the judge and the prosecutor felt about it.
We can arrange a meeting with the prosecutor. I did send letters out to the local farmers with the attached statute and the exact verbiage with it. So we can schedule a meeting and address it. I actually already had sent the letters that before I sent them to the farmers, I had sent them to our municipal prosecutor and had him weigh on it. And he was fine with what I was sending. That was the prosecutor we had before this last one, because Poacong has changed prosecutors. However, I think he would have the same opinion on the letter that I had sent.
No, right? Because I did personally meet with Mr. Siegel, you know, when he was still there, but I haven't met with or talked to the current prosecutor over there. And like I said, I just didn't want there to be a slippery slope when it come to farm vehicles, but those grain vehicles are all apportioned, you know, and they need to follow the same truck rules as everybody else.
Yes, you know what, if you want, I'll see about setting up a meeting with the municipal prosecutor. If you want to sit in on that, then I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, if Bob's okay with it, I'd like to sit in on it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, Paul.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
You got it.
Okay. Rich, do you have anything else?
Mayor, I'd have one thing, I'm sorry for my report.
Yes.
I'd just like to bring up and just update you with the town septic system, since we were having that issue
Yes.
before. So what the DPW did, we uncovered the D box, the distribution box. Here it was all caved in, full of mud and solids. We cleared that all out with the help of Alpha DPW. They have a jetter in the back. Cleaned it all out, reformed it up for now, and opened the pipe from the solid tank to it. It is taking water, but keep in mind, what we've seen is decay, because all them pipes aren't plastic. Back in the 70s, they used cast iron. So they're all rusting, they're closing shut. So right now it's working, it's getting rid of the liquid. It's not filling up every 3 weeks and so, but we got to keep that on the priority list for this year to start developing to get a septic system onto this building. And if we're going that far, probably should put a solids tank in there.
Well, we probably should start getting prices then, because we did devote that money from the sale of the Washington Street property.
And then I think we got to put together an engineering plan for just what I've talked to some people and stuff. That's not gonna you just dig it up and do it.
Right. So you want action? You want to come back next month with a suggestion for us?
You want me to come back with a suggestion?
Yeah, for next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Frank, was that you? So you want to say something?
Didn't we also say the school money, the sale of the old school was going to be going towards that?
Yeah, it was like 80, total of 85,000, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So, oh, yeah, that's why you probably said that, because you thought that was the lower number, the Washington Street address. Yeah, we devoted all that sale for those real estate.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I think we should just figure out, put together maybe a package and maybe for next month, put it out for bid already. I mean, that's got to be addressed. I mean, there's no way we keep putting that off.
If I could just interject this, we have a fellow in our office, Charlie Tiedemann. You may or may not have met him, but he's our septic guy. Might not be the worst idea is just to set up a meeting with Joe and Charlie down at, Joe, the D box is now exposed and opened?
No, we got it covered
Oh,
up
you
because it's underneath
backfilled
part
it?
of the police park.
Okay, I didn't know if you might
Take
have
any
had it
pictures,
still.
Joe, while you had it dug up?
What's that?
Do you take any pictures while you had it dug up?
I don't recall if I did. It was cold that day when we did that, and I don't know, we were in a hurry to get it done, so I don't recall. I'll have to look.
Okay.
Well, just give it some thought. I mean, for Charlie to come out and take a look, and you can explain maybe without ripping anything up, what exactly you saw and found and whatnot. He'd probably be able to give us some good suggestions.
Okay. No, I know what we saw and everything there, so.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Joe?
Nope, that's it. That was the important one.
Okay, thanks. You gonna let Jeff go? He's sitting back there twiddling his fingers. He
I was
doesn't
just looking to see if we had pictures.
Okay. Okay.
Mayor, could I just add, I didn't have it, it's obviously not in the report as something that would just stick out, but we did have that fire at the America's Best Value Inn last month,
Yes.
March 17th. And we had, a lot of agencies that helped us with that, with specifically our emergency squad and our fire department. And one of the hats that Joe wears with the fire chief, he did an amazing job with it, and I appreciate all his help with that.
Okay.
That was it.
Thank you.
Do we need to send any thank you letters to anybody, Rich? And if you want to give a list to Lisa, if she types something up, I'll go down and sign it. We can send it to whoever you want it to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay with you, Lisa?
You got it.
Okay. Okay, committee reports. Anybody have any committee reports?
I had a couple. Again,
I just had rec. Baseball season started. Lacrosse started last week. I wanted to thank Joe and the guys from the DPW. The fields look great. The baseball fields were in rough shape, and they really did a good job, getting that together. Thank you, because they were pretty rough. So that's about it. Seasons are starting, and we're hoping to get the snack stand open for the second half of the season for lacrosse.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Brian. Frank, you have some?
yeah, affordable housing. There was a site visit with the county. Mike was there and Ingerman. It was a good visit. So some of the issues were cleared up. I think we got, as far as Ingerman's concerned, they don't have any issues going forward. We still got to look at sewer access, but they have committed to putting in a pump station if needed. They're going to try a different route, try to go through one of the residents' property and offer them some money. But either way, it's not going to be a holdup to the project. I had asked them when they would be breaking ground on the project if everything goes well. And they said early of next year, next calendar year, 2022. So that's the update there. And on the Petrucci side, still working out some legal issues on that. Petrucci did purchase the property, just so everybody knows. So they're serious about developing it because they now own it.
Good.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody else got, but I've got a couple of calls already about the activity on that Dumont Road site. People that weren't aware that, believe it or not, affordable housing was going in. They called to ask what they're doing.
Yeah, so they probably saw a lot of people there.
Well, the drilling trucks are there and stuff.
And the drilling trucks, and they're doing bore samples. That's all they're doing right now.
Yeah, social media lit up over the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I was just shocked that anybody didn't know. I mean, after what we went through a couple of years ago, I was,
Well, it was like 3 years ago now at this
Yeah.
point. You know, it's probably some new people that don't know what's
it
going on.
could be, yeah. So,
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I just had one
but-
last thing real quick. I sent a memo to everybody about the OS committee. I didn't give an update last meeting. Just take a look at it. If you got any questions, just let me know. It just
Okay.
talks about some of the decisions that were made in the open space committee. Okay,
When
that's
did we
it.
get that, Frank?
What's that?
When did that
Lisa,
come through?
Lisa put it in the packet, I think, right, Lisa?
we
You
got
got
an
it?
email on it too, like a day or two ago, I think,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
All right, I
So there were
saw
a
it.
couple motions made by the
Yeah.
open space committee that just informed
It's all the
everybody.
way at the end of the packet.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks,
that's
Frank.
all I had. Thanks.
Paul, you have anything?
No, I'm good. Well,
Okay.
other than if you want to talk, I see that the courts are under executive. I
Yeah.
reached out to them. I'm guessing that our last email exchange, which happened back in early February, wasn't clear that we were ready to move forward. So I've expressed that again and said that we'd like to have that done by our May meeting.
Okay.
So let's see how that follows up.
What, move forward with what, Paul? What are you speaking of?
Their proposal for to share the court 50-50.
To share the court 50/50? What-
Hmm?
Yes.
We talked about this in a budget meeting, Frank, but we have it in an executive, so let's not get too
Oh,
far.
the
into it.
courts.
Right.
Gotcha. Yes, thank you. I got it. Yes.
Okay. You done, Paul? Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. The only thing I had is, I'm meeting tomorrow with County Commissioner Kern and the County Administrator Alex Lazurzak. And Mike Finelli is going to be there. We're going to discuss the truck route issues on all the county roads. We're going to specifically discuss the Strikers Road crossings, the no left turns on the 519 off of Strikers, and better signage and everything. I've already spoken to Commissioner Kern about a few things, and he seemed pretty receptive and agreeable to some of the suggestions I have thrown out already. So after tomorrow, hopefully next time I have some, we'll know what's going on and where we're going. So. Okay, Lillian, you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. Professionals, Mike Finale.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Couple, hopefully quick things. I sent out earlier today, a letter that was sent out to the residents regarding the dioxane situation that we've talked about for the last couple months. So those letters, which went to about 120 properties, again, located in the northern and eastern sections of the township. I ran a letter by Mr. Lavery. He found it acceptable. I was pretty careful in, how I expressed the situation, but honest, of course. So that's out. There's also a link that's going to be put on the website. From our understanding, Cindy needs to get Frank's approval before putting it on the website. So that's Frank, if you haven't heard from Cindy soon, you'll hear from her. So that's that. I also sent out a plan showing the renov or the reconfiguration to the basketball, which will be the basketball courts behind the DPW garage at Municipal Park. It was something you gave us to go ahead on a few weeks ago, maybe the last meeting. So it's ready to go out to bid. We would just need your authorization to put it out to bid. And
Wait.
as
We're putting in basketball courts before we even do any site planning for the firehouse?
No, it's
This
fixing
is
the
the
current
old
one.
ones.
Fixing the
The
old ones.
Louis.
The
Oh,
ones that are
okay.
already there.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lily, sorry. These are the ones at Municipal Park, right behind the DPW garage. We're gonna add one regulation court in the middle. Look at your email, you'll see the picture. I think it'll make a lot of sense to you. So.
Mike, want to just explain the specs on it? Maybe give like an overview?
Sure. What it, uh, what it is there are the two right now, what has been out there for years now, are the two courts that I'll say run east and west, and parallel the back of the DPW building. And we kind of got lucky with this. The existing paved surface that's out there right now allows for a regulation size court, which is what I know the boosters and rec wanted. So there's going to be a regulation size court, which is going to run perpendicular, if you will, to the way the existing courts have run. So it's going to go, there'll be a backboard behind the DPW building, and then it'll run out to the park, and it fits perfect. And then there'll be two smaller courts, kind of like when you're in a high school gym and you see the courts like kind of perpendicular one another.
To give people an example, it's like what exists at Heritage Park. That's what they have.
Yes.
They have 6 baskets.
So the job will consist of the existing blacktop asphalt for the existing court will be milled out and 3 inches will be removed. There will be 3 inches of new material put down as a base, and then 1.5 inches of a top, which is a very fine top. It's not like the top you put down on a roadway. It's a lot more granular type of top, for an athletic court. So there'll be 3 basketball courts that will be behind the DPW garage. There's striping involved. There's a little bit of seating that around the edges and so forth, but there should be very little disturbance of the earth, and it should be a fairly straightforward project. And I didn't know, obviously we've been talking about the courts for a little bit, so this should, satisfy a whole bunch of folks, hopefully.
Hey, Mike, did you specify the type of backboards in the bid specs?
Yes, they
Acrylic,
were.
right? All acrylic?
Yes, they're tempered glass. They were, to be honest with you, Frank, they were the same. The basketball pole and backboard and the basketball part of the equation was exactly what the boosters had recommended. So, or as we put it in the spec, it's going to be or approved equal. So you don't have to do that exact same basketball hoop and backboard and so forth, but something that we would approve.
Just one last question on that, Mike. The horizontal
Yes.
courts that we're gonna have, the smaller courts,
Yep.
are we gonna have any of them baskets be adjustable? I'm thinking maybe one court we need to have adjustable court baskets on.
Well, right now, Frank, no. They were going to be the 6 basketball poles and backboards that are going to be proposed. We're all going to be the same. Now, if you want one to be adjustable, we could certainly put that in. Sure.
I would think since they're smaller courts, if they want younger kids to be able to play on it, might not be a bad thing just to make one of the smaller courts adjustable.
Sure.
If you're going to do that, though, I think you got to do it where somebody running it has the ability to raise and lower it, not just anybody, because
Nah, it'll
you're
get
going to lower
destroyed.
it. Because high
Yeah.
school kids and stuff will lower it to 8 feet, 7 feet, and they're have dunking contests
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
that's a good point, Bob. I think if you could put it in there, make one of the courts adjustable and have the ability to
Lock it.
key lock it or something.
Well, I don't know this, but I would suspect you'd be able to, there's some sort of way you could lock it from being adjusted.
right.
But
So let's look into
maybe
that.
maybe we'll call the manufacturer and see if there's some way to do that, nice and simple.
Okay,
okay.
That's great. So are you looking for a motion now to?
Yeah,
out?
we need a motion to put it out to bid, and as I put in my email from earlier, so we actually have 5 weeks between tonight and the next meeting, so we have ample time to get the thing out the bid, have a decent bid period, do a bid opening maybe the week before next month's meeting and hopefully make an award at the May meeting. So,
All right,
yes,
so
the
I will make the
motion
motion to
authorize.
put Mike's bid specs out to redo the basketball courts as he stated.
You made that motion, Frank?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Anybody looking for, anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
Anybody have any questions, comments, discussions on it? Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes,
great. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, sure. And lastly, the lawn mowing bids. I don't know, is this anywhere on the agenda?
Yeah,
I
let's
actually
do
don't even-
that. Let's award that while we're on this. So who's a low bidder and who we award it to?
The low, okay, we received 2 bids. Low bidder was Marino's, which is located at Marino's Lawn Care out of Alpha at $17,920. And again, that's for 32 cuts through the course of the season. Second bidder was Diamond Cut, who was our contractor last year, at $22,720. So there's a pretty significant difference, $5,000 approximately. Attorney Lavery, I don't want to speak for Michael, of course, but he reviewed the bid, found it to be satisfactory. So, and of course, with the time of the year, I think it's kind of important we get this rolling because we need to get the grass cut. I would make a recommendation for the Township Committee to award the contract for the lawn mowing services for 2021 to Marino's Lawn Care at the prices bid per site.
Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
Anybody have any more questions, comments on it?
No.
Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes,
All right.
One,
I-
one,
Go
are
ahead,
you done
Frank.
yet, Mike? Because I got
Yeah.
one question about the DEP issue.
Go
Did
ahead.
you ever get a letter from the DEP that we could put on?
No, I have sent 2 emails and probably made, well, maybe a couple phone calls as well to the fellow that I've been in contact with over, recently about the matter, and have had no response. So,
Well, keep trying. If we could ever get it, we'll put it up on the
yeah.
website.
I mean, I
okay.
do reference if you've.
I know
do
you
happen to
referenced,
have-
yeah, I read it. You
I-
referenced,
I
what they
did
said.
mention the correspondence with the DEP and so forth, so,
all right,
but again, nothing more than that.
all right.
So, one last question, if I could, going back to the lawn mowing. Joe, I know we talked about this a little bit at the bid opening, and hey, Frank, can you unmute Joe if you don't mind?
Sure.
Okay. Are you scheduled to try to cut those, or are we gonna try to hold out and have Marinos cut them?
He's been in touch with me, wondering what was going on, and I told him I would leave. If it's okay with the committee, I can give him a call or whoever was gonna be awarded the bid. Brett has expressed that he's ready to mow for Monday. So if that's the case, I'll let him mow it Monday, the schools.
All right, I don't want to do this to complicate matters. Mike Lavery, any issue with that, as long as they provide a certificate of insurance? Being that
Nope,
clearly the
as long as they
contract
provide
won't
it,
be.
whatever they have
Okay,
to provide under
okay.
the bid, as long as they provide it, we're good, as long as the committee approves it.
Okay. All right, okay, very good. Just playing it safe. Okay.
Okay.
Mayor,
Thanks,
would that
Mike.
be fine for me to get a hold of him then? Bob, would that
Yeah.
be good for me to get a hold of him?
Yeah, just like Mike's Lavery said, though, let's make sure he has all the documents in.
Very good.
I'm sure he has them already. Right, submitted some with the bid, I would assume, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
the
I mean,
bid said
yeah.
that if you're awarded it, they had to submit the certificate of insurance before they started. So that's something they should be able to get in a day. So,
Yeah, that's all we're waiting for, the certificate of insurance, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he should have, that should be no problem to get.
I'll make sure he gets that here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, good.
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike. You're done, Mike Finelli, correct?
Yes, I'm done. I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm finished. Thank you.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion for the consent agenda for resolution 2921, to lien redemption, resolution 3021, so a resolution to appoint a custodian of records, resolution 3121, refund of taxes 2021, resolution 3221 is another refund of taxes, resolution 3321 is refund of the deposit for the pavilion use. Because of COVID-19, the people that didn't use it were refunding their money. Anybody want to make a motion to adopt those resolutions?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? I mean, all in favor.
Aye.
Yeah, we could do an aye on that, right, Lisa?
Well, we are
You're gonna-
refunding some money, so if it's okay, we'll do a roll call.
Okay.
Mayor Barsney,
Roll. Yes.
Mr. Baylor,
Yes.
Mr. Beam,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes,
Ms. McDermott.
Yes.
Resolution 3421, looking for a motion to adopt resolution 3421, the reappointment of Lisa Bird as a township clerk. You wanna
I'll
that
make the
motion?
motion.
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney,
Yes.
Mr. Baylor,
Yes.
Mr. Beam,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes,
Ms. McDermott.
Yes.
Congratulations, Lisa. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Resolution 3521 is a shared service agreement in Warren County. It's one we sign every year to share equipment and things like that. Resolution 3621 is acceptance of open space from the Leaf, specifically the Lee Farm on 519. I'll make the motion to adopt those resolutions. Anybody want a second?
second.
Anybody have any questions or comments on them?
I do. On the
Okay.
Lee Farm, does that now mean that the DPW has to plow?
It's being farmed right now. So it's not an issue.
Well, yeah, but doesn't that also include the house and the road up to it? Or is it just farmland? I mean, there's a lot more to that property than just the farm fields.
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, maybe Mike needs to look into
I
that.
think you're getting the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to be responsible for the buildings and everything. on there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so everybody knows it's preserved open space. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there was, if it was cut out, I don't know if it's the whole thing then, Mike, you're already saying that. So, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because I know right now the county plows it and stuff like that. So if the county's not plowing it, that'll lead to the township having to plow it open and stuff like that. And with that being said, off of that driveway, there's the county-owned property on the left-hand side that the county's also plowing. A former freeholder lives there now, I believe. Mike Lavery, are you familiar with that piece or not really?
No.
Yeah, there's a house. If you go up the driveway to the Lee Farm, you have the Lee home up top, the old lot kind of thing, and then off to the left there's a house that the county also takes care of. So I wasn't sure if we're going to have to do that also. I mean, I wouldn't think so, but at the same rate, if we're doing the road,
Okay. Yeah.
something that we should look into anyway.
I'll try to remember tomorrow to talk to Commissioner Kern about that. And Joe Mexi, maybe you can contact somebody from the county and see what the deal is on that.
Yeah, it's probably buildings and grounds. I'll see if I can get a hold of them and see what's going on with that. That was Kenneth Miller, I think, former.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the old Hamlin farm there too. And the bridge washed out. That's why they made that road over to the other one. There used to be a straight lane right across from Overlook going to that farm.
Right.
Because Joe, you would think that driveway and that house is all part of the Lee Farm, right?
That was two separate postal parcels. I know that Hamlin
Right, so
farm
maybe it's
was
not,
was
right,
preserved, but I don't know if it's all, I thought the Lee farm was just the farm and had the canal inclined plane there
That's what I
and
thought.
stuff.
Well, just one note on that too. If anybody's concerned about any expenses because of the plowing, we are gonna now be able to lease that, and we're gonna be able to get money from that land now, which we don't currently get. So there will be some kind of income from that.
all right. And hopefully we don't actually have to take care of the other piece, so, but that's great.
Will that include mowing the grass and stuff
Well, what include mowing the grass?
up there? Isn't there a house and stuff up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of mow the canal right now. They have that youth group do it.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I guess a little research has to be done here, but
Yeah, and you know what, you may be able to get that youth group to mow the lawn around the property, house too. No, we'll have to look into it. Joe, see what you can find out, okay?
Okay.
You have to wait until next meeting, get a chance to find out, let me know, and Paul know, and we'll see what we can do something before next
Okay.
meeting.
I'll look
Okay.
into it.
Okay, thanks. Anything else? Can we do roll call on that, Lisa? We're done?
We did not yet.
Okay, roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to open public hearing on the second reading of ordinance 102/2021 and ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 25 of the Township Code to delete the existing chapter 25-1 entitled Stormwater Control and to create a new chapter 27 entitled Stormwater Control. I believe this is just to be in conformance with state law as a purpose of this ordinance. Anybody want to make that motion?
make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody, you want to open up the meeting to the public, Frank? If anybody has any questions, whatever?
Yeah, did we have a vote? Did you need a vote?
Oh, yeah. Roll call.
We can do an all in favor on that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Okay, okay,
see
Frank.
two members of the public, so I'll ask both, I'm gonna ask both you to unmute if you got any questions. Kathleen and Vicky?
No questions.
Okay.
So mine was, I know, I guess it was Robert was saying something about talking to someone about the signage and everything with the trucks. Over
Yeah,
there
no,
by
we'll-
19.
This is
Yeah,
public hearing only on this ordinance. We're not
Oh,
talking
I'm
about that.
sorry. Good. Okay.
You'll have your chance though. You'll have your.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My
When we do
first meeting.
public comment, that's when you can do that, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem. Okay, nobody, I guess, has any questions, Frank, so I'll make a motion, we close public hearing.
I'll
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a
Aye.
motion, we adopt ordinance 102/2021. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we open a public hearing on ordinance 103/2021 prohibiting cannabis businesses in the township. Anybody want a second?
second.
I'll se-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Once again, if Vicky and Kathleen have any comments, now's your chance. Okay, there are no comments.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing. Anybody want a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Looking for a motion to adopt ordinance 103/2021. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I guess there's no other further comment. Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
No.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to introduce ordinance number 104/2021. It's the salary orders for 2021. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. 8L, the open space approval. I don't know who, does that from the open space committee? I saw that in the packet, but who put that on the agenda? Is that you, Frank?
I did not put it on the agenda.
It
No.
actually came in through Frank Pinto. They said that open space, I assumed open space had voted to send it to TC for your consideration.
Yeah, I think this has to do with hiring a landscape architect to start designing. Obviously the park is pretty bare right now, so it's to look at landscaping the park.
Is that the phase one, or is that
Phase one.
this phase?
Yeah, no, it's for landscaping all of the park, a plan. It's not to do anything, just to build
Okay.
a plan.
Okay. The only thing I don't mind doing that, because I think we need a plan for the park. I think we need a comprehensive plan for the park, like the
Yeah.
whole phase two.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know if this woman does that type of work also, but I think it's something we need to look into. And I think Brian and I discussed it. He was gonna bring it up in the next open space meeting, then you guys can come back.
Yeah.
So should we just table this for now until next month?
I
I don't know if we're gonna do it.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you could do one and do the other also. This is really just to, I think it's going to be taken into consideration with the long-term plan.
Right.
So I don't know what Brian thinks.
Well, we're gonna have to go out to bid for this anyway, probably? Or is it under the threshold? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know
I think it
anything
would be
about it.
considered professional services, to be honest with you. And Bob, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's under
be,
the
from
threshold.
what I know, it's gonna be a comprehensive plan
Yeah,
for the whole park.
right.
So it's
Taking into consideration future development too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
mean, we
we
could
need-
ask her when she's present to see if she can design something for phase two.
I mean, do we need to take any action tonight or not? We're not approving anything, are we, or not? Yeah,
Lisa, did they put in a dollar amount for
They
the?
did.
Frank Pinto.
So I think we need to approve this. It's got to come out of the OS.
Yeah, so
What was that?
It's 2,500, I believe.
Yeah,
that's correct.
so we just need to approve that.
And Bob, my understanding was that part of this was when we were all talking about people wanting to do like memorial trees and different things like that, or benches, that this would kind of set the stage for that as well. It would be like future planning for where those things
okay.
appropriate, I think.
Okay.
It's with like wind blocking for fields. I forget what else. we went
Yeah, I
over.
saw all that in there. Was anybody
Yeah.
want to make a motion then? or
Yeah,
not?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
Anybody else have any comments or questions on it? Roll call, Lisa.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay. Budget introduction. John Mooney, you want to say anything first or?
I'll unmute him. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yes, we're here for the budget tonight as well. There are just a few things that you have to do before we get to the budget. The first of them is introducing the COLA ordinance for the year. The COLA ordinance does not authorize any spending whatsoever, just gives you the maximum flexibility when you're putting your budget together, and allows you to do what's called cap banking. So anything that you don't raise the budget by, it's a number that goes into the state software, and you'll be able to use it in a later year if you need it. And if you don't use it, it falls off in 2 years. So that's the item of business that you have tonight.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to introduce ordinance 105, 2021, which is the COLA. Anybody
I'll
wanna
make the
that
motion.
Anybody want a second? I'll
Second.
second it. Anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay, so moving right along, we have the self-exam resolution next. Two out of every 3 years, you're allowed to examine your own budget. You're still sending the same information down to the state, but the state is not doing a thorough review of your budget this year. In the years where you do a self-examination, you just have to pass a resolution in order to do it. So that's what's next.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to adopt resolution 3721 for self-examination of the budget?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
Second,
Anybody have any questions on it? Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Here's my favorite. Here's my favorite. I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 3821 for the deferred school tax resolution. No sense in explaining that, John, because you've explained it to me for 6 years. I still don't understand it.
Okay,
I'll make the motion. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions or comments on that?
My comment is I'm still against it, but I understand why we're doing it.
Me too.
E3.
No, me 4. Okay. And I don't, and Brian, I don't think he knows what we're talking about because
At
it's
all.
such a complicated thing, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay.
we still
Okay,
have to
John.
go out. Yeah, we still have to go out and try to explain that over wings and beers, Mayor. But I guess it's not until anything opens or is back to normal just yet. So now that you did
Yeah.
those 3 items, you're able to do a budget introduction. Budget was a little bit more difficult this year with your old CFO going out, but we have new CFO Shannon Quick with us. Shannon was helpful in the process and look forward to continue working with her. And next year, when we do go through this process, she'll make it her own, and we will be even more efficient.
Thanks, Shannon.
Trying, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, I'd also like to know, and I'd like to thank Karen too, because I think she left us in pretty good shape for you to take over, and she did some work for us. So I know Lisa gathered a lot for this information too. So thanks to all of you for it, and it was a difficult time losing. Karen's one of the examples I mentioned earlier. She worked for us for a year. I think I met her twice in person. So. So, John, you want to give a brief synopsis of the budget for us?
I do, and I also wanted to echo what you were saying in thanking Lisa. Lisa was a huge part of it as well. She gathered a lot of the information to get over to me, so I really appreciate that, Lisa. Thank you very much. Your budget as it sits tonight, you are.
I think I was just early and yelling thanks.
That's all I said. Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
You are compliant with both the tax levy cap and the expenditure cap. You are looking at, with this budget, a tax increase to the local tax rate of 2.9 cents. For the average local home assessed at 272,000, that will be a monthly increase of about $6.50 per month. If you do introduce the budget tonight, the adoption and the public hearing on the budget will take place on May 20th. At that time, public comment is welcome, and you will take the vote to adopt then, but you have to introduce tonight first.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to introduce the 2021 budget? Come on now.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Nobody wants to introduce a budget, but I'll second it. Anybody? Roll call, Lisa. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Well, again, my only comment is, and again, I've shared this before, we have bare bones this budget, and I do think it will come back to haunt us down the road. I understand why we did it, but I just think it's going to create problems down the road.
I agree with you 100% that it's bare bones, and I think it's going to cause difficulties. I'm hoping it doesn't cause problems. So next year, we're going to have to address it. I mean, you wanted to do it this year. I agree with you 100% in what you wanted to do. I just felt that the timing was kind of late. You know, we were so far into the process. So, but I agree with what you're saying 100%. We were so bare bones. And if we ever had a cut or something, I don't even know where else we would cut.
I agree with Bob.
Anybody else?
I agree with you.
Roll call, Lisa?
Mr. Baylor?
Yes, I can't hear you, Lisa, but I'm assuming you said me.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, now.
Maybe you want to start over.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
And Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Moody, you have anything else?
Not at this time, Mayor, no.
Okay, and I'd like to thank you for everything you do for us. And it's always fun and a pleasure to see you this one time a year. Topic's not the best. Topic's not the best, talking about the taxes and things, but you're always a gentleman, and we appreciate your knowledge, and we appreciate your professionalism, and we appreciate your friendship.
Well, thank you very much. I don't get that often, so it's very nice to hear, and I do appreciate that.
Okay.
And it was a much more cordial meeting tonight than I sat through one last night. So I think that as well.
Does anybody else have anything to John before he cuts out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Does
John.
anybody else
Here,
have
John.
John.
Good night, John.
Good night, everyone.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to bring up? We're moving on to, I'm going to go to public comment, then we're going to go to executive. So is there anything else for public that anybody wanted to bring up or discuss?
You want to open it?
Well, I'll make a motion. We open public comment. Anybody want a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I know we have, what'd you say, Kathy's her name? I know she wants to talk because she started before, so.
Oh, I can go on to the thing I did before? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Barbara, you were saying something about,
This time, Kathy.
yeah, this is my first time, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
I noticed you had said something about with signage and stuff over here by Strikers Road and 519. Are we gonna be able to do anything about the noise later once that warehouse opens up? Because the noise with the trucks is really getting bad. I'm on Revere Road and it's getting really bad. And a lot of the trucks are going down Dumont now. They're turning at the light. We have a lot of kids going across the street there.
Trailers or tandems? What kind of
Well,
trucks
the
are going?
tractor trailers, I hear, zooming, well, they go down Strikers
Right.
or 519. But we're having big trucks now, not tractor trailers, are going on Dumont.
Okay.
I don't know if they're trying to get away from traffic or what, but I'm worried about the noise levels once this warehouse opens up. Because we do have a lot of children.
Yeah,
that
well,
go
we
to
did.
school.
Yeah, we did pass an ordinance for the engine brakes to try to minimize that noise.
Mhm. But I'm wondering when these trucks, when they come right now, there's a sign at that new warehouse that they're making that you can only make a right-hand turn when you come out.
I know.
And I understand that because of the issues you could have at the railroad crossing with a huge tractor trailer. My son-in-law does drive one, and it could be hazardous if the light changes and a train's coming.
Correct.
There. That's what I'm worried about. If everybody's going to be coming down Strikers onto 519.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about the traffic and the noise with that.
Well, unfortunately, there's not much. We did send a letter opposing that right-hand turn on, correct, Mike Lavery?
I believe we did.
Yeah, I believe we sent one, but there's not much we can do. I mean, it's another municipality and they set their laws on their roads and we set ours on ours, but.
Can we talk to the county about that, like putting a noise barrier up?
No, because the county doesn't have any jurisdiction. It's on Strikers Road.
No, you're talking about putting it up on 519, I guess, right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, on 519.
God.
Yeah, Ryan and I were discussing that.
We were.
I think there's a lot of places we need noise barriers, that's for sure, with what's going on now.
Last
Yeah,
I read,
know.
The last I read, it has been a while. Noise barriers don't really work, so.
Oh, really?
But Ellie might know more about them than me, but yeah.
Yeah, they do,
Anything
but
I
we
read,
have to have
they
something
know.
like, I think it's more like a 12-foot barrier because if you're gonna have tractor trailers, they're like 13.6 feet. They're pretty high. But noise barriers do work. I've lived in places where there's been noise barriers. But who would I talk to about those? The county?
I'll bring it up tomorrow, but see what they
Okay.
say. So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, is that all you had?
Yeah, one other thing on the Dumont, I guess we could, Mike, I know we spoke about it in a previous meeting that we were gonna get additional signs put up and we wanted to put signs right at the entrance,
Mhm.
restricting the truck traffic.
Yeah.
Like, where do we stand with that?
What we did, Frank, is we looked at the roadway network and of course the weight limit ordinance on Dumont that was adopted. And we put together a very simple plan kind of outlining where these signs would go, because you're gonna have to obviously post this restriction. You're also gonna have to post an advisory in advance of the roadway in question, so as to advise a truck driver that there is a upcoming weight limit restriction on the road.
But that's an
So
existing weight limit, but it's an existing weight limit.
No, you're right. But I mean, you can't have a guy, we're talking about the signage. You can't have a guy, let's say, coming down 519, heading north and making a right on a Dumont, and all of a sudden he makes the right on a Dumont and there's a sign weight restriction. So there's got to be advance warning signs on
But wait,
519. That's all. That's all.
Okay. I
That's all I'm
got you.
saying. Just so that,
Mike Finelli, besides that, that's part of a discussion tomorrow. We're gonna try to make it no trucks past Strikers Road on 519. Be no left coming out of Strikers.
yes,
And coming down 519, we're gonna ask them the signage that it says all trucks must turn left.
Yes,
So they should never make it to Dumont.
Okay.
right.
yeah, exactly. You mean must turn right.
Right,
That's
yeah, he means right.
Must
Yeah.
turn
Bob?
I
right.
know what he meant, yeah.
No. Well, coming out of Strikers, be no left.
Oh,
Yeah.
coming out of, okay, I thought you were saying,
519, you have to make a left
Yeah.
on the Strikers. Yeah.
yep, right, exactly.
That's
And we
part
have a
of
lot
So
it.
of
yeah,
children.
that's
Yeah, I was worried
tomorrow's
about the children
discussion.
too.
That's part of our discussion tomorrow, is the no left turns and stuff. And then also, I don't know if you heard earlier, we hired a class 2 police officer specifically for the enforcement of truck traffic laws, because there's so much of a problem with trucks everywhere in the township. So hopefully the chief is still on and hearing these complaints, and that'll be an area he can address with that officer and with the other officers.
Yeah, and just one other thing, Kath, I don't know if you know this, but our town is one of the few, maybe the only town that does not allow warehouses in our town.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, this is we have a nice little town. I love it here. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't control the surrounding towns, as you see, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks,
I have one
Kathy.
more question for you. Since my camera went off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you talking about the affordable housing? Because I'm in that moderate affordable housing myself. Is that going to be the same thing we have here at Greenwich Chase? The affordable housing we're talking about next to your building? Is that the one on Dumont and Greenwich? Is that the land we're purchasing?
Should be, Mike, right? Or it's the same rules, I believe.
Same rules, okay.
Right.
Same
They're
rules.
not,
yeah.
Same rules.
but they're not owned.
Different design, obviously, but yeah, same rules.
Okay, all right.
Thanks,
They're not
Kathy.
ownership though, Frank.
Well, yes, good. That's a good point.
They're
Brian.
not owned.
Oh,
These
they're
are
not-
strictly
they're not
rentals.
ownership?
No ownership. No, that's a good point. Yep.
Okay, that may be an issue.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, thank you.
Vicky, welcome
Yes.
aboard. Have anything tonight?
Yes, I do. Could you explain a little bit? I know you said it's really complicated, but I want to hear a little bit about the deferred school tax resolution.
Well,
That's not going back to the 670,000, is it?
no.
No effect.
It'll have no effect on your budget. I'm not sure how it works, but you're not gonna lose any money. We're not taking any money from you. It's an accounting technique. I wish I kept moving
So
on.
are
for
you
this.
deferring? You're not deferring any
No.
of the tax
No,
payment
any,
to the
any
district?
money that you do that we collect, we will forward to you. I think this is the excess taxes that we collect that we haven't caught up with, that basically, we don't actually even use. It's just, and I can't even explain it to you. I've been trying to figure this out for 6 years, but all I can tell you is the school district is not losing any money on it.
And we will get paid on time.
Yes, yeah, you're still getting the quarterly payments, all that. That doesn't affect it at all.
Okay, because
Yeah, just so you know, Vicky, too, this isn't the first time that the town has taken money from that. So you haven't,
Well, actually,
there hasn't been any issues in the past when we did it, so.
okay.
Vicky, maybe you have to go with us when we get the wings and John Mooney explains that to us.
I might have to do that because the verbiage looks like the money is going, it looks like it's going to be a deferred payment.
I
Has to
think the
do
closest
with the time the
closest
taxes are collected and the time that we have to pay and a
Yeah,
lot of intricacies to it.
the best I can explain it is we take in more taxes each in a year than what we owe you each quarter. So that's an excess, and we kind of use that until it's due, but you're always get your money. That's the bottom line.
Okay, well, that's good to know. One other thing, could you just refresh my memory on the housing that's going up on Dumont? You said they're gonna break ground in the spring of early 22. How many units over there again?
66.
That's the 66.
Yeah,
And
remember originally it was a lot more. Was it 100 and how many, Brian?
128 total.
Yeah.
128. So we were able to split them to another location on
Right.
173.
What's the size of those units? And is there going to be a limit to the number of people that are gonna be? Because, well, when do you expect them to finish if they're gonna start in early
don't know.
22? Oh, you don't know?
Vicky, they
When
didn't,
people will actually start, because that could potentially affect our budget depending on when they finish and people start moving in. Because if it's in the middle of the academic year, if they start in 22 and let's say they start in February and then people are moving in there with kids in April, then,
Vicky, if I may, this is a pretty substantial project. It's gonna take them, I would think, a good 6 months. You're into late 2022 at the earliest. If they're not, because as Frank said, I was at the meeting the other day with the developer. So at the very earliest, you won't see any residents until late 2022. I'd almost be surprised if anybody's in there in 2022.
but that's still when we'll be doing the budget for them in March.
Yeah.
Our budget will have to be approved by the
Well, yeah,
county
you'll
in March.
know, you'll have a much better idea the fall, like next summer, next fall, where they are, because there's a lot of site improvements to be done, a lot. Roads to be built, utility extensions and so forth, and then obviously you have to build the buildings.
Right.
And finish the buildings. So there's a big project. It'll take some time for sure.
Okay, we got the point, Mike. Vic,
And the, just to
Thank
finish
you,
up,
Mike.
the ordinance itself lays out the number of bedrooms and units.
Yeah, but I think, Frank, we kind of have an answer to that question, Vicky. I don't know where we can locate it, but there was actually a graph designed on how many anticipated students would come from that many of units. Remember that was in the
That was
original.
done also by our planner.
I remember hearing that at one of our meetings, the
if we can
number,
find that
but it's just,
somewhere-
the number sounded so small. I don't remember what it was, but I
Yes.
remember when I heard it, it just sounded small.
did
And I
sound
was
small,
wondering if
but-
maybe,
It was
But
in
I
the
think
30s.
that's going to be the closest thing to,
yeah.
I guess that's going to be our closest thing to a real answer for you, somebody professional who came up with the formula. So
I think that all those
maybe we
documents.
can find that and forward it to Vicky. Okay,
Yeah, I
Lisa?
think they're all on
Could you-
that affordable housing tab, but Vicky, if you want to shoot me an email, I'll be happy to locate them for you.
Okay,
Okay. Anything else, Vicky?
that's it.
Okay, thank you. See you
There's
next month.
Bob, since we started public comment, there's somebody else who joined. I'm just gonna
Okay.
ask.
Anybody
Um,
else comment?
Anybody else want public comment? There's U197571. That's the name.
Did you unmute them?
I'm asking them to unmute, so they're not unmuting. I'm assuming they don't have a comment.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion. We close public comment.
Second,
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Kathy,
Thank
Vicky,
you.
have a good night. I'll make a motion. We go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the contracts regarding the municipal court.
I'll
Not
second.
basketball court. All in favor?
Aye.
aye. Just so
Okay.
anybody on the public knows, we
Shouldn't
would
be
do
that
is
long.
we end this meeting, we start another executive meeting, and then we will restart this meeting after executive session is over. If you want to join, you're welcome.
Mike
Okay.
Finelli's only on a municipal court, so we won't need you in it, but thanks. And then I'll see you tomorrow also.
Yeah, see you tomorrow morning, Bob.
All right.
Have a good
Hey, Mike.
night.
Gonna end this-
Take care,
Okay,
Mike.
good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.